the first sign. It started with a message, 3 words that changed everything. I'm still here. When Claire lost her brother Michael in a car accident, she thought grief was finally breaking her mind. But one night, at 3:07 a.m., her phone lit up. The sender ID read Michael, the same contact she deleted months ago. At first, she laughed it off. A cruel prank, maybe. But when she opened the message, her blood ran cold. Attached was a voice note. It was his voice, weak, distant, whispering, "Don't forget me." She dropped the phone and ran to her mother's room. Her mother was already awake, staring at Michael's photo. "I smelled his cologne," she whispered. It filled the room. After that night, the house changed. Radios turned on by themselves. The TV flickered with his favorite show. Even the family dog refused to enter his old bedroom. Claire started recording everything. Every creak, every whisper. She sent one of the clips to a paranormal forum. A sound engineer analyzed it and sent back a single line. "The frequency is human, but not alive." She hasn't used that phone since. But sometimes, when the wind is quiet, she swears she can still hear it vibrating from inside his empty room. The whispers through the static. Tom lost his wife, Emma, to cancer. Every night, he sat by her favorite chair, tuning his old shortwave radio to random stations. The static helped him sleep, or so he thought. One stormy night, the static changed. Between the crackles, a soft voice emerged. "Tom, it's me." He froze. The voice was faint, buried in noise, but it was hers. "Emma." He began recording the sessions. Each night she came back, sometimes laughing, sometimes sobbing, sometimes whispering things only she could know. He posted the clips online. No one believed him. Then one technician studied the data and wrote something terrifying. "This frequency originates from inside your home." Tom tore apart his walls, searching for hidden devices. Nothing. But when he ripped off the wallpaper near Emma's chair, the radio screamed, loud, distorted, like someone trapped inside. The radio shattered in his hands. Now, every time thunder strikes, the sound returns. Neighbors swear they hear whispers through their own radios, especially when they pass by Tom's window. The dream visitors. Elena didn't believe in ghosts until the dreams began. Every night, her grandmother appeared at the foot of her bed, glowing softly, whispering the same words. "Wake up." One night, Elena did. It was 3:11 a.m. The room smelled of jasmine, her grandmother's perfume. Her phone buzzed. A voice memo appeared. From Grandma. She pressed play. A faint voice said, "Check the garden." At sunrise, she followed the voice's command and found a small wooden box buried near the rose bush. Inside, an old letter her grandmother had written years ago. The last line read, "Even death cannot silence love." The family was shocked. No one knew that box existed. That night, Elena dreamed again. But her grandmother only smiled this time and whispered, "Good night, my dear." Since then, the dreams have stopped. But every time she passes the garden, the jasmine scent returns, even in winter. The video call. Jason was scrolling through his phone late at night, deleting old contacts. When he saw it, Marcus, online. His chest tightened. Marcus had been dead for almost 2 years. He stared at the name for a long moment, thinking it must be a glitch. Then, a new message appeared. "Can you see me?" Jason froze. His throat went dry. Before he could respond, a video call request popped up on the screen. He hesitated for a few seconds, then answered. The screen turned black. A faint static hum filled the speakers. Then, through the distortion, he saw a figure, blurry at first, then slowly coming into focus. It was Marcus. His skin was pale, his eyes hollow, and behind him, the room looked half-burned, walls covered in ash and shadow. "Don't come here," Marcus whispered, his voice breaking through the static. "They're not done with me yet." The call ended abruptly. Jason sat frozen, his hands shaking. When he checked the call history, there was nothing. No record, no timestamp, no number. But the phone's camera light was still on. Unable to sleep, Jason decided to visit Marcus's old apartment the next morning. But when he arrived, he found only rubble. The building had been demolished 6 months earlier. Among the debris, something caught his eye. A half-burnt phone lying under cracked concrete. Same model as Marcus's. The screen was shattered, but faintly glowing. Jason brushed off the dust and saw one final message burned into the display. "You answered too late." He dropped the phone and stepped back. The device buzzed once, then went silent. When Jason turned around, his own phone lit up again. Incoming call, Marcus. The mirror messages. Sophie inherited an antique mirror from her late aunt. A tall, Victorian-style piece with intricate carvings and a strange, cold surface. Her aunt always said it was special. Sophie didn't believe in superstitions. She placed it in her bedroom right beside the window. The first morning, she noticed something odd. On the fogged-up glass, faint words appeared. "Help me." She wiped it away, thinking it was condensation. But the next day, new words formed. "He trapped me." Sophie felt her stomach twist. She lived alone. The room was locked every night. Determined to prove it was her imagination, she set up her phone to record the mirror while she slept. At exactly 2:59 a.m., something happened. The camera captured her reflection moving before she did. It turned toward the lens and smiled. A wide, unnatural smile that stretched too far. When she played the video the next morning, she froze. Her reflection blinked even when she didn't. Sophie called a paranormal investigator who examined the mirror. What he discovered was horrifying. The glass was infused with traces of human bone ash, a material once used in ritual seances during the 18th century to trap spirits inside objects. She decided to destroy it. She smashed it with a hammer until it shattered into hundreds of pieces. But when she looked down at the shards, each fragment reflected the same misty words. "You can't break what's already broken." That night, Sophie heard faint scratching from inside her closet. When she opened the door, the largest shard of the mirror was hanging on the wall again, spotless, whole, and glowing faintly under the moonlight. This time, the reflection didn't wait. It whispered her name, the final goodbye. Every story you've heard so far has one thing in common. None of them began with fear. They began with love, loss, and a voice that refused to fade away. But sometimes, love reaches too far. After her daughter's funeral, a woman in Ohio received a voicemail, recorded 6 hours after burial. A child's voice whispered softly, "Mom, it's dark. Where are you?" The timestamp was real. The number? Disconnected. In India, a husband opened his email 3 days after his wife's cremation. The subject line read, "One last dinner?" Attached was an image, the two of them smiling at their favorite restaurant. Metadata showed it was created the night before he opened it. And in London, a boy who lost his mother began talking to her every night before bed. His father overheard him whispering, "Good night, Mommy." One night, he heard a woman's voice whisper back, "Sleep tight, my love." The next morning, the boy said, "Mommy said she can rest now." After that, she never returned. These encounters aren't isolated. Thousands of people claim they've been contacted after death. Through radios, phones, dreams, mirrors, even the smell of perfume. Maybe it's not haunting. Maybe it's connection. But the question remains, what happens when we answer back? Because each story ends the same way. Once you respond, the line doesn't close. They reach out once to say goodbye. But if you reach back, if you open the door, something else might come through. So next time your phone rings at 3 a.m. and you see the name of someone long gone,